Hey, and welcome back to another episode of the Girl Boss Method podcast, hosted by myself, Richu. So, for today's topic, we are going to be discussing what to do over Christmas, basically. So, what to do at Christmas, Twixmas, and the New Year. Okay, so Christmas, for those of you that are listening, Christmas is in a couple of days' time, and then we get this period in between Christmas and New Year's called Twixmas, which again, people tend to don't know what day it is, and then they tend to kind of like fall into a lull. Um, Lots of telly, lots of things to watch. There might be a few events, and that sort of thing. So, and again, yeah, and then you've got New Year's itself. So you might be going out for New Year's, or you might, yeah, you might be at home. So anyway, I wanted to kind of go through this topic for you guys really quickly, and a couple of slides that I've got up to help you. So I'm going to go over some of the questions that came in from the last few check-ins. So these were submitted for the girls on the Girl Boss Method. So how to keep motivated over the Christmas period, and then how not to overindulge during the holidays, how to stop grazing when bored at work. So obviously some people will still be working during this time. Any holiday season tips to stay motivated and on top of tracking and training. And then also, lastly, picking and choosing what to eat during the Christmas and New Year period. So some of the things that I wanted to talk about were, you know, I'm going to answer in the next few slides anyway. We'll try and address some of these questions. Okay. So firstly, in terms of how to approach this season, we want to establish what our goal is. Do not write it off. So set small mini goals, be realistic with this right now. Know what your actual goal is. Set a goal during this period which is realistic and achievable. So even if that is just working towards maintenance itself, or it could be something where it's habit based. You might want to start each day during the festive period with 2 glasses of water and a walk around the block. So it doesn't have to be a massive goal. Right now, I'll be honest with you, is not the time to be going, you want to lose 5 kilos over Christmas, because it's not going to happen, if I'm honest with you. So firstly, for the purposes of this training, if toning, fat loss, or weight loss is your ultimate goal, you can choose to either, so I've got 3 options here. Firstly, work towards the maintenance calories for each week. If this way you can strategically work towards a lower calorie days and higher calorie days to allow for more flexibility while still hitting your goals. Secondly, you can have a complete diet break and opt for more mindful eating, coming away temporarily from a diet mindset, just for this short period, and then getting back to it properly from January. This would just be really good for your mental health as well, especially if you feel like there's so much going on right now. And lastly, go in without a plan and potentially end up in a restriction and overfeeding cycle, and then having to reset completely your mindset when it comes to New Year. This is what we want to avoid, if I'm honest. Moving on. So ideally, we want middle ground. The first one that I sort of explained with the looking at the overall week of calories, I think it's such a good place to be if it's something that's well practiced and you've done outside of this period anyway already. We did do a couple of trainings over the last few weeks talking about looking at overall calories of the week and how to kind of strategically dial in higher calorie days and lower calorie days. Ideally, right now, for most people, a middle ground plan is going to be the best, so that you can still enjoy yourself, and you might even just maintain over Christmas. Okay, and look, if it does happen that you end up increasing your weight ever so slightly, don't worry about it. So my top tips for you, we want to think protein first, have a shake earlier on in the day to help hit your overall target and allow for more carbs and fats later on during the event. So protein at each meal time for satiety. Okay, so it's going to help with that fullness. And look, if you work well with fasting windows, then this can help reduce the amount that you eat overall by potentially eating less meals. As long as you're not sort of excess snacking in addition, the key thing to remember here is that calorie deficit, okay? Or even maintenance, whichever one it is that we're heading for. You want to fill up with veg. Yes, we still need to think about fiber here as well. Drink lots of water for hydration. Often you might, especially when you're bored, you might mistake thirst for hunger and end up snacking instead of actually just giving yourself water. So always start the day, a couple of glasses of water, etc. Mindful eating. So you want to enjoy each bite and choose between the food or dessert options on offer. So if there are about 5 different dessert options on offer, don't have all of them. Not like a full portion of all of them. Be sensible here. Just think, if it is something where you just want to enjoy one thing fully, or opt for getting a plate together and putting a little bit of each, right? Or sharing a dessert. There's lots of different options here. So also, when it comes to mindful eating, chewing is a really good tool. I did mention this previously as well, but 32 or 33 times is the amount of chewing we need to do for each bite or mouthful, if you like. So look at really getting into that mastication. It works because when you are chewing, you are going to be releasing responses that are going to help create that fullness as well. Okay, so pre-planning as well. So you want to pre-plan your events and your meals, etc. This is going to help reduce stress and anxiety over the event itself. And then if you are opting for flexible calories, stay consistent by focusing on the overall weekly goal rather than daily fluctuations. So don't think backwards here. Don't think, oh my God, like Monday and Tuesday I went wild and now I'm gonna eat less. Okay. So that does actually come into another one that I'm going to talk about as well. Keep active because you want to and you can. So not in the mindset of undoing by burning excess calories. Then using the maintenance and extra calories as fuel for your workout. So think lift heavier because you've got more calories and perform better. So it might even be that because you've got those extra calories, you're actually able to perform your cardiovascular activity better as well. So try and think about the other processes that we're working on when we are thinking about fitness, and it's not just about weight loss, okay? So if you do have a day where you go off track, just start the next day to get back on track and not restrict. So again, it's that whole thing of, like what I said about being flexible, pre-planning really, really helps. Remember the long game. So what we do between January and November matters much more than the month of December in the grand scheme of things. So consistent actions to create consistent results. It's the habits and the mindset that we've built that is going to keep us going and moving forward. And remember that alcohol calories do count. So those of you that are on the program, you'll have access to the alcohol cheat sheet that I created over the summer a little while back. And those of you that are listening to the podcast, just send me a DM on Instagram, Richu Bra, that's RICHUBRAR, and I will I'll send you a copy of that for free. How about that? So when it comes to alcohol as well, just enjoy it, but consider how you might feel the next day. Will it make you, so it's not just the calories you're having from alcohol. think about how it will make you feel the next day. Will it make you want to move less and eat more? Okay. So again, I'm going to keep putting this wonderful graph that I put up or made a while back. And this is all about the flexible tracking method. So again, we are looking at a total week of calories. So we've got Monday to Sunday, and then we've got an average that we've created as well. So let's say that this person's maintenance calories are 2,000 across, and if they did that every day of the week, they would be, in maintenance. What we've done here with this example is we've actually created a deficit by giving them a deficit on like a harder deficit and then a more moderate deficit over the course of the week, and then allowing them to have a day where they're able to consume more. And then I've got a bar at the end which says total average calories. Now, again, if you are not on the program and you're just listening to the podcast, you won't be able to see this. But if you'd like to have access to it, again, send me that DM and I'll send you across this example that I've made, because I think it's really good. And look, at the end of the day, just by strategically dialing that in, you are going to create that calorie deficit and still enjoy a day where you are consuming more. All right. Hope you've enjoyed this very short Zoom today. If you've got any questions, if you're on the program, ask in the group or DM me private. Again, if you are listening to the podcast, then send me a message on Instagram at Richu Brar, RICHUBRAR. In the Girl Boss method here. Thank you so much for listening. Have a lovely Christmas and a happy New Year.